just like Paul, who was persecuting and killing Christians in the name of Yahweh. He knew God forgave him. And that is why Paul always says, I leave what's behind and I strain forward. I forget what's behind. I forget that sin. That horrible time in the past that's covered by the blood of Jesus. Beloved, let me tell you something. Sin in life, particular sin of denial of Christ and living without Christ, that sin can either pull you back into the life of sin or can propel you forward to serve the Lord. And both Peter and Paul, for them, those events when they were in such disobedience to God, to them, that's a landmark that constantly drove them to witness, to preach, to tell people about the redemption of Jesus Christ. In fact, in all the words of the Apostle Peter, that moment he will never forget. And that is why in Acts chapter 2, verse 23, in the day of Pentecost, he said, this man Christ was handed over to you by God's set purpose and foreknowledge. And you, with the help of wicked men, put him to death, nailing him to a cross. Just think with me of this image that I'm going to share with you. And I really believe it comes from here. Here's Jesus. Before all worlds, before eternity, he was coexisting with the Father in the Holy Trinity. He's the judge. The Bible calls him a judge. And every eye is going to see him as judge one day, and maybe even sooner than we think. But here's the judge, sitting on his bench, looking at his own son or daughter in the criminal's dock. Guilty. So he gets out of his judicial robe and he stands there and he takes the punishment for that son or daughter. And then he goes back on his judge's bench. That's our Jesus. He stepped down into our darkness. He took the punishment of everyone who would acknowledge that this was done for them. And then he sits back on the bench, and that is why everyone who have accepted his act of sacrifice on the cross, his stepping down from the judge's bench, everyone who accepts that to be for them, they will escape the judgment. And so I end from where I began. If being a Christian becomes a crime, will there be enough evidence to convict you? Will there be enough evidence to convict me?